Good evening everyone and welcome. So I hope you had a good weekend. Today is Monday, so I hope you're, had a good Monday, had a good weekend. We did lots of coding over the weekend. I don't know if you saw, but we actually built a game between the community, and I paired with Andrew, also known as Venza. We built a game, but today I'm planning to show you DashboardHub and get back to doing some Angular and some Node. But before we start, I'm quite proud of the game we built because it's really simple. It's hosted on GitHub pages. There is a lot more work to do it. However, it's the first time we did anything like that, so we're quite excited. So I'll quickly show you that, just 2 minutes. So if I share my screen, I must remember to do that. And you can't see my screen. So that is really good. Wait 1 second. That's better. Okay, we're getting there. So it's the game we built is called War Blaster, and it's open source and on GitHub. So feel free to fork it, contribute to it, play with it, log some issues and some ideas. We've got some good ideas. And there is a link which I want to copy into Chrome, and you can play the game. So with no further ado, I will get started. Got some big assets, so give it a second to download some of the... I hope I didn't break it today when I pushed to it. Give it a moment, any moment now. Wonder how big the assets are, let's have a look. Here we go, the game has loaded, took a while, must have been quite big. Let me play. So, there should be background music, I don't know why there isn't. And as you shoot they break into smaller ones, you can move around. So we did this. And you can see the score. If they're going faster, then they have a higher number when you shoot them, and if they're smaller, you also have a higher number. And then as you shoot some of the bigger ones, they break down into smaller objects. And that's basically what we did, and it was really good fun, and we want to build on it some more. As you can see, when you refresh, you start at a different location, and also on the refresh, it was quicker because it didn't have to cache it all. So that's basically it. Okay, so I'm going to close that, and we're not going to get distracted by that because I'll get carried away, and I do find that quite fun. So I'll put the link in the chat if you do want to have a look at the repo, log some issues, or even just play the game. The link's at the top on the repo. You can just have a go at the game and let us know what you think, find any bugs or anything like that. It was quite a small game, and I think we did it all in about 6 hours in total of streaming. 2 hours on Friday, 2 hours on Saturday morning, and 2 hours Saturday afternoon. I think Andrew did a little bit of improvements yesterday evening, but it was the first time we had used Phaser. Phaser is the JavaScript framework we were using, and it was good fun. If you have any questions about that, do just ask, don't be shy. But today, what I want to do is go back to DashboardHub project. It's open source again, and it's pipeline dashboard. It's the actual repo, and what it's about, if I scroll all the way down, it's actually an old screenshot, it's really updated. But it's about having all the software projects deployed to different environments, from dev to testing, stage, production, and everything else in between. And the idea of the pipeline dashboard is to list your environments and to show what version has been deployed to which environment. And that's all automated with your CI server. So Travis CI, Circle CI, Jenkins. I'm not wearing my Jenkins hat today. I'm just wearing my Linux one. You know what? I should have worn my Jenkins one today. And yeah, so we're going to do some Angular. I think we'll look at some Angular. Let's look at some issues, see what we've got. Let's see what we can pick up and do in the next hour. So I'm actually going to go to good first issue. I can get that the smaller sizes. Get back into DashboardHub. I feel I've neglected it over the last week or so. I have enjoyed doing lots of pull requests to other people's projects. If you do have a project and you would like a pull request to it, do just drop a link in the chat. You won't be able to put the whole link, but you're able to put your, for example, the link that I've put into the game is twitchcoders/War Blaster. So just put in the user or the organization and the name of the repo, and we'll find it on GitHub. So what sort of people do we have with us today? What's your background? Are you all technical? You've been doing it for many years, or are you new to it and you want to get into it? I plan to cater for all. There will be some, easier work. There will be some open source work. I'm really passionate about open source. So everything I do will be open source, and we can do some more technical stuff. I do plan to move. So for Pipeline Dashboard, I'm using Angular 5 at the front end, which is using TypeScript. And at the back end, I'm using serverless on AWS Lambda with Node, and DynamoDB for the database. But I will be moving away from DynamoDB. I've really had a love-hate relationship with it. And now that AWS has brought out Aurora serverless, I should say, I think I want to move to that. And then when I want a NoSQL solution for aggregations and faster searching, I will move to I will in addition add something like Elastic, also known as Elasticsearch, but that will just be a cache that I can make queries. It's going to be faster than the database. So let's have a look down the list and let's see what we can pick up. Like I said, I really need to get back into it. I have neglected this. Let me start up the project and I can give you a quick walkthrough. I will bring another terminal over here so you don't see all the boring commands that I run to run it. Check we're in the right branch, 0.9 alpha, sounds good, okay. And let me boot up the UI. So in DashboardHub, I wrap everything with make commands, which effectively underneath in the make file, each task is just Linux commands. So if I want to run the UI, I can just go make UI. Are you wearing a DashboardHub hoodie? Yes. Deployment heartbeat. It's got my name on the back, I think. I can switch the other camera actually. Maybe I'll switch the other camera, you can let me know. If I stand up now. Oh, it's just a project, not my name. I have one with my name on the back. I do like my swag. But thank you for noticing, that means a lot. So the UI, you can see the UI is just building. First time it builds takes a bit of time. I'm thinking of getting a DashboardHub cap, but then I can't wear the cap at the same time as the hoodie. That is just like DashboardHub threw up on me or something. So yeah, I need to kind of balance it. So Angular 5 just built, and if I bring up the UI, oh there you go, you can see it's loaded. And this is so the screenshot in the README is a bit out of date because now we have I've got another message. I think you have a house of clothes. Always something new you are wearing. Well, I like my swag. I do have a wardrobe for my my swag, and it's all my kind of my geeky stuff, my GitHub hoodie, and various things. Okay, so this is the local environment. It's just test data has gone in, so we can see environment D. I've given it a DashboardHub logo, but environment C doesn't have that logo, and they're in various different states. And if I do log in, then you'll see which ones belong to me and which ones don't. Okay, so the ones that, none of them belong to me. Okay, interesting. If it says details, it means you can log in. If it says view, you can only see the public information. So my environment, I have none. We can always add one. So we also have these different kind of types of environment. And Vendra, who's just written the message, also spotted an improvement we need to make, and he logged it. And that's if you choose build and deploy, so say if you're building a library, or say your project needs to build and run tests, and then you deploy it, you don't do that on all branches. So some environments will not always deploy everything. So you need to have a bit of a mixture. So we need to have a bit of a think about that. Yes, if you're looking for the project on GitHub as well, I can share it because doing !GitHub does take you to my GitHub account, which should be the first repo on my account actually. Let me just check that and see. It'll be the first one at the top, I'm pretty sure. There we go, it's just the first one on my account. But I can share that if that makes it easier as well. And yes, I'll just build one now. So we'll just say streaming example. I can leave the rest out, logo, link to the environment, description. If you don't put a link to your environment, then you can't use the monitoring section. So maybe we'll put a link. So if I just do https dashboardhub.io and hit save. So now it's given me the curl commands that I would use to put into my CI to do the deployment. And you would then just change the release number. So every time a deployment happened in a certain stage of your CI build, this would be updated, and then you could keep track of it. And it's dotted line underneath here, so it's waiting for data. There are no releases. It's a new environment. Actually, if I show you, let me see. I can't show you one of these because they don't belong to me. Which was something I should actually improve. I should assign one of them to me actually. But yeah, so if I go back into details, if I put monitoring, I can show you monitoring. So we want to monitor on, we know what our URL is, so we've got this, but we can now append the path. So if I, not releases, sorry, monitors. If I append the path, I'm just gonna, just not append one, it'll just be the root. 200, expected text, I'm not gonna look for expected text. Method is just get, I hit save. And it does a ping immediately. I got 200 back, so the code was matched, text was matched, and the duration took 281 milliseconds. It happened a few seconds ago. So every 30 minutes now, that'll automatically ping. You can actually use that to keep an environment alive or cached, like if you're using Heroku or AWS Lambda and you want your environment to always be like hot rather than go into a cold state. And you can also do a manual ping as well. And you would hope that the statistics is roughly the same. There's obviously going to be there's network. There's so many different variables, but yeah, they're roughly the same. I mean, I should probably put a min and max on here, but between 100 milliseconds to 280 milliseconds is still not that much. I think a flag in the body data you send to DashboardHub along with the version number could specify the build type perhaps as an override. Only something lesser, not greater than the setting you have selected. Yeah, that's probably a really good idea actually. You can override it within reason. And I also want to add release logs to that data that you send, you beacon to DashboardHub. So DashboardHub can also not only have a version, it can also have like maybe some change log. Going back to what I was saying about the dotted, so this is waiting for data. This one's finished, so it's solid. This one has started to deploy. So there are 4 states if you're doing build and deploy. There is start build, finish build, fail build, but then it will end the journey. And then start deploy and finish deploy. And there's also fail deploy. And this would go red if you had a failed deployed. Okay, let's get into some coding. Enough demoing. Let's. If you have any questions, do just ask. And let's have a look at some coding stuff. Okay, do I have my IDE open? I should have been a bit more prepared, but I'm human. I make mistakes. I'll make a lot of coding mistakes, so don't laugh. Do pair program with me and let me know if you spot anything. So also I want to say that on the API I have cucumber tests that test the API and actually do run a test against it. So it does make a request, be it a get or a post. SpawnHub TV, hey, thanks for joining. It does actually make requests. So this is I make a post request to this endpoint. It will actually make a post request and check that I get a 403 back because that person's not logged in. But this person is logged in, and they create a ping to a non-existing environment. They create a ping to a non-existing monitor, and then this is a successful ping. And this is what I expect back in the data. So I can actually check that I get the environment ID, monitor ID, URL, and the right status code. I can't check for the exact UUID because it's going to be randomly generated. Okay, I did a session last week on automated testing, but today I actually want to do a bit of Angular. I know when Venza was doing a stream, Angular was quite a hot topic, So let's have a look, and I feel like I've neglected my UI a bit. So let's have a look. So we were actually looking at the issues, what we're going to do. So I was going to pick something simple. Let's see. What does something take someone's fancy? Again, I'm really I've neglected this for a couple of weeks, so I'm feeling really rusty on my Angular, but it's okay. You're all going to help me, so it's not a problem. Let's have a look. I mean, I've been meaning to create some better docs, an example. So in my docs section, if I show this, where is it? Help. In the help section, I've got these sections, and the ones with the solid grey means you've actually got some information. And this is written in Markdown, which I can show you. If I remember correctly, it's in Markdown. Has got that, but the ones without the grey question mark, it says coming soon. So maybe we should pick one of those, and it'll be a really good example. And then if people after the stream want to contribute, they're more than welcome to. They can just create a PR, and if you do need help with any of that, let me know. I'm on Discord in between streams. So let's have a look. So we should probably do using CI to beacon deploy. So we should probably do something like that. And I think I have an issue for it. Example DH usage on CI in the help section. So let's pick up something like this. I do have in the ticket, I do have a circle example that was courtesy of Andrew Benzer. Thank you very much. And I do have a Travis example. Now I just need to remind myself how I did all this. So if we go into source, inside the web directory, we go into source, then the app directory, and then it's under main, and then under content, and we've got help. And then so that's the normal, the main help page, and then we go under dialogues. Okay, article. What is article? Let's remind ourselves. So where is that data coming from? Does it say data.article.title? Okay. And this is getting data in. This dialogues from material design is getting data injected into it. Okay. So if I go back to the main help component. Okay. So this is got title and got a path. Okay. And where is that getting it from? Let's have a look. Assets, help, MD. Okay. Where have I put it? Assets, help. Okay. Okay, so these are all the markdown files. So the quick start, the one that I showed you that was rendered, this is how it looks. I'll ignore this bit on the right. This is how it looks. So a single hash for a H1, 2 hashes for a H2, and then you can put in an image and various links and so on. So we will need this because we want to update the path. We have got the CI one, and at the moment the path is coming soon, but we want to change that and make it to the new markdown file that we create. So like I said, any questions, do just jump in and ask. Or any improvement, absolutely anything. It's team effort. So if I break this, it's all our fault. But how's everyone's Monday going? It's beginning of the week. Everyone had a good day at work. 6 o'clock, end of the Monday for me in the UK. Don't know where the rest of you are. Usually have quite a lot of people from the States, which probably means it's early morning. Right, okay, using circle CI. Okay, let's change this. So we will make this path. Let's try it to be, what should we call it? Using CI to, Mauriceus, thanks for the follow. Awesome. We will say, what should we call the CI? CI examples, maybe CI examples. We might even break those out to do different ones. We'll see how we get on. So now if I create the markdown file in here, and we'll just say CI examples, CI usage, I think. Usage just generally might be better. CI usage, actually, I prefer that. .md, so let's create that. Yeah, we'll go with this markdown preview. Just finished work, been an alright day. Okay, an alright day for Monday. We'll take that. I think that's good. think that's good. All right, day's good. So what we're going to do, let's just check it works. So let me correct this and just say CI usage. Can't spell usage. And we have added this, a use CI to beacon, how to beacon deploy. It actually might be this one, how to beacon deploy. I don't think that's really good English. I think I need to reword these. But let's actually remove this, delete this, put this back to what it was. Coming soon, and let's change this one. And we'll say CI usage. SpawnHub TV, thanks for the follow. Now you'll get notified when I come online again, and you can see all my ramblings and all my mistakes. It's okay. You can help me fix them, so that's fine. And so Angular should have updated, and he says, and what do we call it? Oh, yeah, we did. It's changed to like a solid grey question mark. How to beacon deploy. I really hate that title. We changed that. And that's what we've got. So we've kind of got it working now. Now we can add some more. Let's see how it goes. All right, let's close the quick start. Go to here, right? CI usage. I really hate that title though. Any suggestions on the title? How to beacon deploy. How to beacon your version. That might be better. And then in the ticket, it's been pretty sunny and warm up north. Wow, okay. Is that North UK, I'm guessing? It's been down south, it's been raining, miserable and awful today. We had good weather on Saturday though. I managed to cut the grass. My wife was very happy. Okay, so we've got circles example here. So let's take this, oops. And let's put it in here and we'll say, we'll have to beef this out a little bit, but we'll just say circles CI example usage. And we'll put code blocks around it. And we'll say, we'll adjust that indentation. I don't like that at all. Does that indentation look correct to people? Or should name and command be alongside run? I don't know, I'll leave it like that. That looks better to me for the moment. We can always change it. It's just Angular automatically re-update, reloads. So let's have a look. Okay, got an example. Excuse me. We need a bit more description and text around it actually. Let's see, what else can we do? CI usage. Here are some examples. And also what we're going to do is in a few minutes when we get this kind of where we want it, to a happy stage where we want it, I'll raise a PR. And we'll all review it, and if we're happy we'll merge it into 0.9 branch, and then CI will automatically not only update DashboardHub website, it will also automatically deploy out, so we're able to see these changes live on the internet, all of you will. That will be to my test environment, and then we'll collect a few more up over the week and we'll deploy it to production in exactly the same way. It's just a different branch there you get merged into, and then it automatically gets deployed. It takes about 10 minutes to deploy, so it's quite fast. Because it runs all the automated tests and then just deploys it out automatically. It'll deploy out the serverless API, but also will deploy out the Angular to dvis89. Thanks for the follow. I really appreciate it. And yeah, it will deploy out the API, and it will also deploy out the UI. The Angular 5 will go to S3. And on top of S3, I'm running CloudFront, so it takes a bit of time to clear the CloudFront cache. Yeah, North UK, Newcastle. Well, hopefully that weather will come down to us in the south tomorrow, especially because I have to go to London tomorrow evening. But it's for a geeky event, and I'm probably actually going to stream that. You know what? I haven't streamed outside my awesome command center. Let me show you my awesome command center. My Apple TV has just switched off, I think, so you can see on the big screen. But I can turn it back on. Yes, I'm going to try and stream an event that I'm going to tomorrow from my tablet. So let's just let me know how that goes. Tomorrow I'll be really interested in your feedback. It's quite different. And it is a tech event. It's about city data. It's a second event to City Data Hack. So it's quite interesting. Okay, so here we go. Let's do this. Here are some examples of how to use dashboard. Let's put some, so we know Markdown, or this is Markdown, so we can put in bold. Let's put maybe DashboardHub in bold. DashboardHub, how to use DashboardHub curl commands on CI to beacon your release version number. Full stop. Okay. Hey there, I'll be going to my first interview as a junior PHP programmer tomorrow. Any recommendations? Oh, definitely good luck. I did PHP for about 10 years. I stopped like a couple of years ago, got more into the full stack JavaScript. Any recommendations? Junior role. What have you been, next time put your lawn as the screen background. Okay, good idea. Suggestions. Yeah, so hopefully they won't give you kind of silly questions that aren't practical. Hopefully they'll give you kind of real life questions. It's always good to, and what sort of resources do you use? I know I like to, when I interview people, I like to ask what resources they use to learn. How's your GitHub account? Do you have anything open source on there? No matter what it is, it doesn't have to be excellent, what your best work, it can be even your worst work. But just to have some examples on there, because it shows you got used to Git and GitHub, I think that's really helpful if you've got that. And if you have, share the link. You won't be able to post the link, but post your username / or just your username actually, and we can get you up on GitHub, and we can have a look. Because if you have stuff on there, they'll probably talk about that. They'll probably ask about what events you go to, hackathons or meetups and so on. I think it's important for everybody to go to these events once in a while, meet new people, learn different things, be challenged and challenge other people. Yeah, it really depends on the interviewer as well. I don't think that, hopefully they won't ask you syntax specific things. My friendly Kraken, thanks for the follow. Hopefully they won't ask you for syntax things, because the IDEs I'm using IntelliJ, but PHP Storm is very similar to IntelliJ. And you know, it will underline things if you make a typo or you miss something, so you don't have to remember, was it needle haystack, haystack needle with all the PHP stuff? You don't need to remember those. So hopefully they won't ask you those sorts of questions. Do you know, I mean, I don't know if they'll ask you this, but do you know any design patterns? Just maybe listing a couple of names, not necessarily knowing what they do would be useful. A really good site is sourcemaking.com. They have some design patterns. I did do a video last week on adapter pattern, so I don't know if you want to look through my videos and have a look at the one that says design patterns. I think it's only an hour long, and I talked about the adapter pattern, and I think that's always really impressive to hear people, especially the more junior people, hear people talk about the design patterns. And I mean design patterns in terms of architecture and structuring your code rather than visual design patterns. Well, hopefully that helps. Let me know if you do have any specific questions, and let us know how it goes actually. So like I said, tomorrow I'll be at an event streaming, and on Wednesday I'll be at an event streaming, but on Thursday do let us know, or by all means join our Discord channel. The link's below, or I can actually type !Discord and it should put the link in the chat, and let us know how it goes on there. As an interviewee, show enthusiasm, interest in the company. Yeah, that's really, really true actually. It's the attitude is also more important than the technical skills. So yes, do show enthusiasm about tech and about code, and I think that's really important. That goes a long way. And one of I probably shouldn't give this away, but one of the questions I ask, and it has actually really affected who I hired, is, and I'll explain why in a second, is if you look at your code from a month ago or 3 months ago, do you think it's good or bad? And if you say it's good, then that really worries me, because then you haven't learned anything over the last month or 3 months. So even when I look at my code after 14 years, if I look at my code a month ago, I think, oh, who wrote this? And I go to like Git and I find out it's me. And I think, oh, I was such an idiot. But it shows that you're always learning. And I think that's really, really important. And to give you an example, I was interviewing one guy a couple of years ago, and the interview was going so well. I was like, wasn't even going to ask this question because it was going so well. He knew all the technical answers, everything was brilliant. In the end, as we were walking out, I just asked him that question. You know, if you look at your code a month ago or 3 months ago, do you think it's good or bad? And he replied with the worst answer ever. He said, I look at my code from over 2 years ago and it's amazing. And I was thinking, what? He hasn't obviously learned anything in 2 years. I mean, he probably has, but just it seemed like a really kind of the wrong attitude, and I didn't hire him. So yeah, attitude definitely counts for a lot. So I think it's a good point that my friendly Kraken brought up. We've got a few more messages. So we have, take a look at the Gang of 4, might be able to find a PDF online. I use that for design patterns. Gang of 4 is awesome, it's really good. They do have the original, whatever it was, 30 design patterns. And sourcemaking.com is free online, and it has the more commonly used ones that we use today. For example, like MVC, it's good to understand the model view controller, but we never actually write that. We usually have frameworks that give us that for free. But whereas like adapter or facade or proxy or factory, we use in our code a lot more. And Venza has said, it's okay to say you don't know, but explain how you would approach and figure things out. Absolutely. You know, sometimes I ask someone a question that they probably wouldn't know to see how they would react. Would they kind of lie and give me BS? Or would they say, look, I don't know, but I would approach it like this, and this is how I would do it. And that's actually much more value. Means more than skills. Yeah, approach means more than skills. Have a good approach, it goes a long way. Technology is always changing. Absolutely, I think hitting the nail right on the head there. What you know today will change tomorrow. Yeah, worryingly true. Absolutely. I write clean, perfect code that stands the test of time. And also, talk about automation. Are you familiar with with CI, so continuous integration, which I'm going to demo shortly. Even if you haven't set it up yourself, but to be aware of it and to understand how it works and the importance of it. So like I said, we'll show it. And automated tests, writing, not necessarily writing, but being aware of unit testing, integration testing, end-to-end testing, and the various tools. So in PHP, I can't even remember, it's 2 years ago, seems such a long time. BHAT is like the BDD framework, which is Cucumber to write your tests in English. And I can show you what one roughly looks like, just so you can have an idea. Tests, here we go. Features. It's in the create. I cannot create an environment when not logged in, so if I try and hit this endpoint with a post, I get 403. I haven't put a post body in there because I know I'm going to get a 403, so there's no point. But create an environment successfully, I do have a post body with title, type, and so on, and it's just written in English. And I should have a field with ID, with the value, etc., and so on. So that's kind of, but all the different languages have their own version of this. I think in Java it's like JBehave and all the rest. Right, back to this. Really keen to get a deployment out today. We need to get something on test. So, but hopefully that answers your question and helps you for your interview tomorrow. But just, yeah, be confident, but be humble as well. Don't be overconfident and cocky. That, I think, works against people a lot. So we've got the Circle CI one. I'm just going to bring the Travis one in. Okay, so we'll just say Travis CI example usage. These are backticks, are just for code blocks. Oops, what happened there? Didn't mean to open the terminal. Okay, and we refresh that, and let's just check the site when it automatically reloads. Let's have a look. So we have CI usage. Here are some examples of how to use DashboardHub curl commands on CI to beacon your release version number. And there are 2 examples. I think that's good, that's better than nothing. I can fill it out in more detail later, or any of you are welcome to contribute. I love receiving PRs, even if it is just you're fixing spacing or a typo. More than happy to accept those. That will also help with your any future interviews that you have as well. So actually, I can't pronounce your name, DuoViz89. Send us a PR, and you can tell them in interview tomorrow that you contribute to open source. Well, and if you need any help with that, jump on Discord and I'll give you a hand. Well, I think someone has jumped on Discord. Yeah, jump on there and we'll give you a hand to make sure you get a PR in. What time is your interview tomorrow? Okay, so now I've done that. Let's go to the command line. Okay, let's open a new tab and just do a git status -s. So let's see what's changed. So I have 2 files have changed. we've got the help component.ts has got an M in the right column. That means it's been modified and it's unstaged, but don't worry too much about the staging and unstaging because I don't really use that. And then on the next file, it's got AM, and the A is so the first column is for staging information. So it's saying that it's been added as a file and that's staged, but the modifications are unstaged. But I'm just going to treat it as one column effectively. Exa plays. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the question. Are you doing Laravel right now? No. At the moment we are doing Angular 5. I'm not doing any back-end stuff at the moment. We're doing front-end today. So we've got that the Git status, and if I do a Git diff, I can also see the changes. So this file is new, so it'll all be green. Whereas this, it shows that I changed the title and I changed the path. So let's get this deployed out so you can all see it. So if I create a branch, if I go git checkout -b, and I like to use the issue number as the branch name, so we'll just say issue 681. So now what the git checkout -b has done is it has created a branch and then switched me to that branch, so checked me out to that branch. Okay. Let's commit it and push it. Does anyone remember the git commands? Keys. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Thanks for the follow. Awesome to have you here. So git commit -m. We'll put a message in here. So I like to put in also the issue number from GitHub, because then on the ticket it will put a link to that commit underneath in the timeline. I'll show you that in a second. So it's #681 and git rebase. What about it? I'm not merging anything in. I want to get I want to create a pull request, and I'm going to we're all going to review it together. Although we have seen the diff already, and then I'm just going to do a normal merge in. I'm not a big fan of rebase too much. I think it makes sense when you're updating your branch, but not when you're kind of going the other way. I really don't like it when people rewrite history when other people have that history. That's I don't like that. So yeah, rebase is very powerful, but what it does is it rewrites your changes on top, and it's better for resolving conflicts. But if someone has that branch, or you're in a branch that is shared by other people, then you don't want to do that. It will upset the entire team, because they will always get the history has changed, because you effectively rewrite history. Okay, so commit, I put the issue number, and we're going to say example CI usage for Travis CI and Circle CI. And at the end, so if you don't specify a path at the end, then it will only commit your staged files. And I'm not using staging or unstaging, so I want to specify the actual path. So Git's very flexible, but with flexibility becomes a lot of responsibility, I think. So I can go dot to just commit everything, or I could specify a certain path or certain specific file. So I'm just going to go dot, and I've committed everything to this branch. And now I want to push this branch up. So if I go git push origin and just put the issue number 681, and I have a password for my SSH keys. Password is not password1, it's password 123. As a joke. So I've just pushed that branch up. So what we'll see is if I refresh the issue page and I scroll down, you'll see the commit has now appeared at the bottom, and it's gone orange to say that Travis is building it. If I do ever want to see those changes, you can just click on this and it'll take you straight away to see the changes that were made. And my commit was verified because I have GPG keys as well. And I'm going to press command and open this in a new tab, which we'll come to in a second. While that's building, let's just raise a pull request. So I'm going to raise a pull request, say new pull request, and I want to go from my branch, issue 681, to 0.9. And 0.9 deploys out to my test environment. So we will see that also shortly. And then what GitHub does is show you the diff underneath. If you're happy with that, just hit create. It puts in the title for you. I want to change this to say closes, and then the issue number 681. So therefore, it will, when I merge this pull request, it will automatically close it. And I'm going to raise it. I think I see an issue going to occur, is that I need at least one review. But I have my wife's account on GitHub, I can log in with her and approve my own. But if you want to go in and comment, by all means go in and make a comment on the pull request, make some suggestions and improvements, even just for practice. Even if you just want to say test message and you haven't done that before, by all means just go in and put in a comment. So when you go to the pull request and you go to files changed, you can actually put a plus, so you can say test message for the stream, and then just hit add single comment. So by all means just go in and put one in there, or even put a comment right at the bottom, another test message, and then just hit comment. Oh, I've got some more chatter going on down here. What have we got? In the process of learning how to know what to use for what purpose, React versus Angular versus Vue, for example. Yeah, so I think everyone has their preference. React is a really popular framework. I don't like it so much because it is mostly just the view, and you always need to add and include a lot more things. So everyone's like, oh, it's really lightweight, it's great. But by the time you actually build a project, you got to include so many more things, especially if you want state. I'll come back to Angular because I'm a bit biased because I'm using it and like it. Vue I haven't used, but I hear it's quite nice. Well, I hear mixed reviews actually. I hear it's quite nice, and some people move to it, and I've had some people move away from it. Angular, I love it. It's the full kind of MVVM stack. It's written in TypeScript, which is just lovely. I think it's brilliant. It's a bit like Java, so it's a bit stricter, so your IDE really helps you. So I can show you that with, if I pull up some TypeScript, not that one, this one for example. This is a bad example as well. But you can do a lot more of the IntelliSense, so you can click on things and go to them. So if I bring up a better example actually, let me see. What's a good example? Some actual like real like juicy code. So if I go into adding an environment, for example, and I've got a service here. So I go, you know what, I want to see what this method does. It tells you what the parameters is expecting, and it also shows you what you're going to get back. And if I click on it, it actually takes me to that service. I have an issue here. Shadow name, environment. Okay, so these are things I need to sort out as well. I've put my ESLint into a bit stricter, and I want to make it super strict, so I have to go through and fix all these things. This won't cause a problem, the code will still work. But then you can do that, so if you pass in the wrong type, it will complain. So it's quite nice. I saw some more comments, so let me have a look. If you have lots of small reusable components, you want to build React flavors, or React favors, sorry, those very small reusable chunks. Yeah, but so does Angular, I think. I don't know, again, I'm probably a bit biased, but I do think it's a great framework. Have an API and lots of pages, you might find Angular supports you better. Both are capable of achieving the same thing. For example, social media style projects will probably favor React. Yeah, I used React a couple of times a year ago, and I just really didn't enjoy it. I had to keep including so many things. Everyone's probably swearing at the screen right now because I know people just go crazy over React. It's like the latest buzzword. How do you become a developer program member on GitHub? Yeah, you just sign up for it. It's I want to say that I went through all these amazing tests, I jumped through all these hoops, and I was selected. No, I think I just signed up. Just Google it and just sign up, and you get the badge. Andrew Vendra has already shared the link, so yeah. So wait, if I want to build something with GitHub API, I can apply for it. You don't even need to apply for it. You can use it directly. I think the developer program might give you some access to a few more things, but you don't have to apply. Before I became part of the developer program, I built various things with the GitHub API. Angular bias. Yeah, I am Angular biased, but it is good. I can't complain. I think they've thought of a lot of things. I like the way they handle resolves for the routing, so you get your data before the page load, rather than the page appears and the data comes in afterwards. Two-way binding, TypeScript, guards. I know this can be done in Vue and Angular, Vue and React as well, but I do think it's it's really good. I really enjoy it. So what else have we got? You can apply for it whenever you want, but if you plan to interact with their API, you probably want to join up. Yeah, I think it gets a few extra features if I remember correctly. I can't remember exactly what the difference was. I stand by my views on Vue.js. Pardon the pun. Okay, so you like Vue.js, fair enough. Like I said, I haven't used it, so I can't talk about Vue. I've used React a bit, so that's why I can talk a bit about it. And I think if you find something that you like, a lot of them do the same thing. So if you find something you like and you're comfortable with, use that majority of the time. I wouldn't say all the time, because you don't want to make you don't want to have a hammer and just everything's a nail to you. But a lot of the time, these frameworks have such an overlap that you can. So yeah, really. But if you're just making a single page static site, I wouldn't include any of the frameworks, even Angular. It's just not worth it. You've got to make it worthwhile. Right, okay, I've been yapping away, and I wanted to show you, this is still building. So this is the PR, so you can still see it's building. And if I go to Travis, it looks all broken. Let's give it a second, okay. And you can see this is building, so it's still running. It takes about, I think, oh, it's just passed, it just went green. Perfect timing. Like Blue Peter style, I prepared this earlier. I didn't, but that worked quite well. So it went green, which is good. And what it did was it ran all the, it built the API, ran the API tests that I showed you earlier, and it built the Angular and hasn't deployed it because this is in the branch still. It hasn't deployed it anywhere. So doing the build run takes about 6 to 7 minutes. And I'm just looking at my big screen, and I actually have, I think Venza's, I don't know if you can see, but Venza's right up over there on Twitch, Apple TV app. Okay, so yeah, 6 to 7 minutes if you're not deploying. If you're deploying, it takes about 10, 11 minutes on in total. So it adds about 5 minutes more to it. Right, so let's, so I've got this pull request, it's gone green. If I log into my wife's account, I can approve it. GitHub. Oh, let me go to Eddie, here we go. And go to DashboardHub. And go to pull requests. My wife's not a techie, but I use her account to do stuff like this. And what we can do is we can go to the changes, we look through it, and we can put in a message. I'll just put in a message saying, great examples, thumbs up. I can't spell great. And just add a comment. And then also I can then go to review, and I can just say approve and hit submit. So now it's approved, it's all gone green, and I can merge it or the other person can merge it. So if I go back to my page, I just refresh it, it's all green. So now I can merge my own because it's got approval from somebody else. You can't approve your own. What have I missed in the chat? I do a lot of mobile-based app work too, though, so I pair Vue with Framework 7. Okay, that's interesting. I haven't looked at Framework 7, I'll have to take a look. I do want to do a mobile version of DashboardHub. Cheating, yeah, thank you. Yes, that was a bit of cheating. But I'm gonna get her to merge it because she needs some commits in her account. I feel bad. So what we're gonna do is if you go to the top of this pull request, it's just to confirm and clarify, it's going from the branch issue 681 to V09. And actually, if I show you something else, if I go to the DashboardHub website, which has this link here, actually we want to go to the test version. This is production. If I go to test, just put a hyphen in there. Take the data with a pinch of salt. But what I want to show you is it hasn't got HTTPS in it either. It's HTTP. And what I want to show is if you look right at the bottom in the footer, you've got V091238. After I merge into the 09 branch and it finishes and I refresh this page, that version number will jump, so it will show, and it should match what's on Travis CI. And that's actually all done using DashboardHub as well. So let's merge this. So merge, confirm merge, done. I can delete the branch, but it should also close the issue because we says closes. So if I go back to my other browser and I go to the issue, you can see it's closed. So it just saves us going around to find the issue and hitting a close again. Okay, so now Travis CI, if I go to build history, will be building again. So you can see it's building now, but rather than building how it was before with the branch name, well, it's still building with the branch name, sorry, with the feature name and number, which is the branch name. It's building with v0.9 alpha, which deploys to the test environment for me. So the test environment will, at the moment, says 1238 at the end, but it should say 1243 at the end. If the build is successful and the deployment is successful, it will then deploy that. So it takes about 10 minutes. So let's leave that going. What other questions do people have? What else can we talk about? We've got 10 minutes to burn. I could do another story. Does somebody want to do one for me and submit a pull request? We can walk through it together. What do people fancy doing? So if I go back to good first issue, let's see what we've got. Let's have a look. So I need to make some more pages. I need a T's and C's page and a privacy page, but that's a bit boring. I don't have no content for that. Remove unused CSS file. Again, that's a bit boring, but someone's welcome to commit that for me if they want. I can do it, but I'm not going to do it with you watching. It's probably too boring. I do have an issue in my form. I made a mistake that Venza found, and the underlining is incorrect when you've got an error on the form. But again, it's a bit repetitive, a bit boring to go around all that. Subscribe is a bit of a tidy up one. What else? Does anyone have, actually I've got a great idea. Does anybody have a repository that I can contribute to? We'll all do a group collaborative contribution to your repo. So just, you can't share links in the chat, but do, what do you call it? Just put in your username, your GitHub username, and we'll go and find you on GitHub and we'll fork one of your projects and we'll make a contribution. I think it's always good and healthy to do a contribution a day, I think, to someone else's project. Even if it's just small. So if you want to do one to mine, even a spacing or spacing or formatting or text change. If code is obviously great, but you don't just have to. Don't be shy, everyone. Do send me your usernames on GitHub. I could guess and maybe use your username on Twitch, but I think that's a bit weird. So if you're happy to me to bring up your GitHub account and have a look at your repos. Don't be shy. You can look at mine. Mine are terrible. I have like so many that I'm embarrassed of, but I don't delete them. So if I go back to my profile, and I got repositories 173. Okay, some of those are probably forks. So if I go to sources, 63. But so if I go right down to the bottom, some of these are, I've got 3 pages. Okay. So if I go even further back, I mean, some of them are awful. So I did a GitHub advanced search in PHP before that was available on GitHub, and these are some of these are terrible. But it's just good to keep them to show that you did things. And then what you do is on your overview page, you add the ones at the top that you're more proud of. So these 4 are the ones that I'm more proud of. I do have an open source kind of tips book that I use with ASCII docs. It's a bit like Markdown. And have a read of that, and if you do have any suggestions or you'll make any contributions, it's a good way to contribute. So if I click on this, you'll see that it's just text. So there's probably loads of improvements of mistakes and stuff that I've done in here, and it's just they're effectively ADOC files. So it's a bit like Markdown. If I show you what it looks like in there, so tables are a bit different, but in terms, and the headers are pretty much, the principle's the same. It uses equals rather than hashes. It's a lot more powerful. So in Markdown, you only maybe have like 6 different kind of Markdown things you can do, whereas in ADOC you probably have like, I don't know, 100, but you probably only use about 12 most of the time. So how's that doing? Okay, we're almost halfway through. Is no one really going to share their GitHub username? A contribution to your project for free. I won't charge you. No one? Okay. Don't be shy. Okay, I've only got 5 minutes. It's not going to be a massive pull request. It's probably going to be, I might just log an issue. Raising an issue is also still a contribution. So, if you raise an issue on mine, if you're trying to get your green boxes up, it counts as a contribution. Okay, so let's leave that building because it won't take 6 minutes 30 because it's doing an actual deployment. So it'll probably take 11, 12 minutes. Or master's 12 minutes, so 09, yeah, is about 11 minutes. So it will take a bit longer than the 6. Don't have an account. Okay. Well, thanks for being honest. I think that's important. What about other people? Do they not have an account? I'm sure they do. They're keeping quiet. They're a bit shy. That's fine. I can probably pick a friend for a guinea pig. Let's have a look. We had someone on here at the weekend she's doing her own streaming, Evie Brink, and she has some projects. So let's do a contribution. So she's streaming right now, I think. So let's send her a contribution. So what have we got in here? Okay, so she hasn't got a README, so let's add a README and send her a pull request. We've got a bit of time. We've got, yeah, like 5 minutes. What Blaster? I don't distract me with the game that we started building at the weekend. I'm really looking forward to this Friday and Saturday where we can work, or maybe more Saturday, where we can work on that game. I can give a quick demo for anyone new who's joined, but we started coding a JavaScript game. Andrew, who's known as Fenzera, we paired on it, and it was really good fun, worryingly good fun. Let me do this pull request first, and then so I'm not even going to clone the repo locally. I'm just going to do it all via GitHub UI. So I'm going to create a file. I'm going to call it readme.md, and let's just give it a title. Title of saying Eve. We'll just copy and paste it actually. Here we go. Website. What else can we? Let's go to the website actually and find out what we've got on it. We can grab a bit of content. We can even grab screenshots. So what can we grab from it? You know what? We could grab some of these. Let's just do a list. So we could say example blog posts. Actually, without that, with 2. Should we put it in a table to make it a bit fancier, right? So we could do title and then date, maybe just date, and then we will do align it to the left. There's 3, I think, of those you need, and then align it to the left again. We've got one there, static site generators, so that was there, and then that was done on November the 16th. So I hope Evie Brink won't mind me using her as a guinea pig, but no one stepped up. Robot, text, and humans, is that the name of the thing, of the blog post? It is, okay. So, and then I didn't copy, there's no, if I got the dates wrong, I got the dates all wrong. But they're all the same anyway actually, so I'm actually okay. I missed the first date, but it's fine. So, got a README. Should we add a screenshot as well? I think that'd be quite nice. Let's take a screenshot of the site. How's our Travis CI doing? We've got a couple of minutes, 3-4 minutes. Okay, we'll get this done. So what I'm going to do is I want to log an issue. It's always good to log an issue and say added README to added README. I think that's pretty fine. During Twitch stream to demo open source. I hope you don't mind us using your repo as an example during the stream. No one else offered. Smile. There we go. That's pretty nice, right? Okay. So what you can do, I don't want to add the screenshot to the code base because it will probably change a lot, and having binaries change a lot in the code base is awful. So what we'll do is we will just drag and drop it into the issue. It's another good reason for raising an issue, because we can then just drag and drop it. And then what we can do is we can steal this URL. If I submit, and you'll see the image load in a second. There we go. And what we'll do is we'll go back to here, and we will add a screenshot underneath, maybe screenshot, and exclamation mark, square brackets. There we go. shot. Okay, I think that's cool. I'll need a blank line at the end. So what should be in the README and why? That's a really good question actually. So Mauritius, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Thank you very much for asking that question. So I think it's really, README is probably one of the most important things on any open source project, on any project, even if it's not open source. Because when you go to the repository, it's the first thing that you see. I think it's really important to see that. So I want to actually show you the difference. Let me commit this. So created README, proposed new file change. GitHub will automatically create the fork in my account, and then it will then fill this in and say from Eddie, patch 1. Let's create it. And yeah, I'm just gonna hit create. I'm not even gonna give it a description. So if I go to my account now, I want to show you the difference. How long have we got? Okay, a couple of minutes only. Okay, so this is mine, and if I go to repositories, there should be a new forked repo in here. Okay, and then if I go to the original, so this is the original repo, right? So this is the first page you come to. So what do you see? You see a whole lot of files. There's nothing like underneath. But if you go to mine, the white branch, I'm in master, my versions, my fork, and when you come to it, you see a README, right? And you can see, okay, example blog post, right? You can see a screenshot, and usually in the README, you have things like, quick start, how to, if it's a library or a framework, how to download it, like npm add, or if you're using, PHP, Composer, whatever dependency manager, package manager you're using, how to install it. Then even the quick start, how to use it, how to, the common kind of usage you use. So if I go to DashboardHub one, I mean, the repo probably needs updating, but I've got my badges at the top. So you can join us on Github chat, you can join us, pair program with me on Fluebits, and I've kind of given a bit of a description of what it is. It probably needs updating. What technologies I'm using. Screenshots, I do like having a couple of screenshots there. I think that's quite important. Although they're out of date, they need updating. So requirements. Now, if you want to run it, if you carry on reading down and you want to run it, what do you need? So I'm using Dynamo. I'm not using Java in this project, but I'm using DynamoDB. And to run a kind of a simulated version of AWS's DynamoDB locally, you need Java installed. But I'm actually thinking of moving to Aurora serverless, which is just MySQL. So I can then remove that as a dependency. But you don't do any Java stuff. And I put a bit of a roadmap and a quick start. So this is what you need to run it locally. So npm make install local does all the npm underneath and everything else. It wraps various commands. I'm a big fan of make. And then this is how to get the API running, and then this is how to get the UI running, and then to run the automated tests, kind of make test, and that's it. And I've got FAQs, and that's about it really. Vendor has said, I have to go out for a bit, but when you show off Warp Blaster, you'll probably want to update the version. I updated the version on GitHub pages already this morning for the game, so I did see the changes that you made. I'm pretty sure I did update that this morning. So I will show the game, and so people can join us on Saturday. We're trying to, in our streaming session of the week, we're trying to have one day which is a bit quirky where we make a game collaboratively, and we're really keen to actually make the game multiplayer, so anyone can go. So we can all go to the browser link, and we can all play together. So it'll be interesting to see. Okay, so so that's an example README. So hopefully, Mauritius, that answers your question. And if you do have, this is not the perfect README. If you do have any suggestions or improvements, please do say. Okay, see how it's going. 14 minutes. Why is it taking so long? Let it load. There we go. I bet you it's almost done. So yeah, these are all the tests. Loads of automated tests. The test passed, so I have 73 scenarios and 251 steps. They all passed. These are the beacons to DashboardHub. Actually, I should have shown you that. It's probably too late now. Here we go. So you can see that DashboardHub test, which is what we're deploying to, so this environment, has just been bumped to 1, 2, 4, 3, and it's doing the start the deploy. So that's why the black line's up here, and this is grey because it's just finalizing the deployment. It's waiting for the data to come in to say the deployment has been successful. And last notification that came in was 5 minutes ago, so the start deploy started 5 minutes ago. And I will log in so we can see more details as well. This is not local anymore, this is in the test environment. Oh, it just finished as well. So a few seconds ago, there you go. So it has actually deployed. And if you look at the bottom here, it says 1243, which was the new version on Travis. Let's just check. 1243, so it has deployed. And if I go into details, because this is my project, and I can show you a bit more about what DashboardHub does. So releases, because there's more data in this. So that release took a long time. This is the test environment, so don't forget, these are all kind of fake data like XYZ I was just playing with. And that's taken very long because I never completed that deployment. I was just testing the start of a deployment, which is really bad because now this is so big, the rest you can't even see. But again, I can even maybe show you on production, that might even be better because then it's got real data, or it's got better data, let's say. So again, I've got DashboardHub here, is a DashboardHub test here as well. So what I do is in my test environment, when I deploy, I beacon to the test as well as the production version of it. You can see the production version is HTTPS. So if I log in now to change that view to a details, we should have a less rubbish there, I think. Let's have a look. Any questions, do just jump in. Any thoughts, let me know. So if I click details on that, and go releases. So you can see the releases are a lot more kind of stable. So it's good to monitor releases, how long they've taken. If you suddenly get a massive blip, like what happened, what went wrong, and you can see when they happened. And do I have monitoring on this? I don't have monitoring on the test environment. But on the production, I have monitoring on. So if I go to monitoring, you can see as all the monitors, so how long they took. So this one took quite a while. So this one took 496 seconds, milliseconds, so half a second. And it's just hitting this URL. I'm looking for a 200 and it's not expecting any text. But that deployed successfully by refreshing it, and you can see that production is on an older version, 1240, and test is on the newer version. So just by doing creating a branch, which has now been deleted. So if we go here, you can see that branch is now gone. But just merging in that pull request into the right branch automatically deploys it out. So really that's about it for today, I think. Have I missed anything? That's gone green. So we're happy with that deployment, 0.9. The next version has gone out. We created the pull request, it deployed it, and we closed the ticket. So that ticket is now closed. So later on this week, we will be doing some more issues from GitHub. If you see any more improvements you suggest, or any bugs or any issues, do log an issue and we can work on it together. And then Saturday we'll work on the game. But I know Andrew will be upset if I don't show you the game now. So let me just quickly show you the game. So Andrew has shared the link already to Warp Blaster. If I copy that link and open it, again it's open source, fully open source. And this is kind of a screenshot of it. Again, quick start. This is us using Fluebits when we were pairing together. And if you click on this link, it actually goes to the game. And the first time you go to the game, it's got a lot of assets to bring down. It's got music, it's got images and so on. So if we click on this, I don't know if you can hear the music playing. Let me turn my volume up a bit. Whoa, they're coming a bit fast. So you can also shoot. And the bigger ones split into smaller, or split into not necessarily smaller, but split into more asteroids. And the faster and the bigger they are, the more points you get. So that's what we built in under a day. I think in about 6 hours of streaming, we built as a team. I'll turn that down a bit. And what I want to do is power up. So I'm moving quite slowly now. So what we want to do probably in the near future is have it so you get power ups, your ships get big, your ship gets bigger, a bit like kind of Mario World, how you kind of grow, and then when you get hit, you get smaller. And power up so you can shoot faster, or maybe shoot 2 streams. And yeah, so that's what we built. And we're all quite excited about working on it, but we can't just work on building a game, because I know it's really fun, and it's really fun to play it. we need to kind of get back to our project. So yeah, the idea is on Saturday to probably do more work on that during the day. And if you want to join us then, that'd be great. Otherwise, I'll be streaming tomorrow from a Data City Hack event tomorrow evening in London. And on Tuesday, tomorrow it's Tuesday, about 6:30. And then Wednesday, I'll be streaming at a diversity event and diversity and inclusion. And then Wednesday back to normal, doing a 5:30 in front of my computer with all my screens. Again, I just got to show off my screens. I gotta love it. Do follow if you want to get notified when I come online. And I do have my schedule below. If you also want to talk between streams, do join the Discord. And again, the link is below, and I will Discord add the link to there as well. I can add my GitHub link if you want to follow me on GitHub. So great, have a great evening everyone. It's time for dinner, I think. It's almost 7 o'clock here. I think it's time for dinner. I've been rambling on for an hour and 15. Let's see you tomorrow. No, sorry, see you Thursday for more open source coding. Have a great evening everyone. Thanks.